Have you ever had a life-changing experience in your life? I've had several. And when I reflect back on them, each of them in the moment, took me to a new level. Some were when I was younger, some were when I was older. But in each case, the ones that come to mind are ones that really help me understand something unique about God and his relationship to me. In 1966, I had this wonderful car. It was an MGA, 1962, 1600 Mark II, British Racing Green, two-seat convertible. It was a wonderful little car. I love that car. And I unfortunately traded in a 1955 yellow and white two-door hardtop Chevrolet, which I still wish I owned today. However, I traded in for this MGA, and I used to commute back and forth to a junior college from Waco, about 70 miles round trip, with a friend of mine. And so one day, coming back in the spring of 1966, it began to sprinkle, and the top was down. I'm driving down Interstate I-35, and as I'm driving down the road, it begins to rain a little harder and a little harder, and finally I realized I was going to have to pull over and stop. Now, it was on Interstate I-35, and we were coming in down a hill to an underpass, and I was going to pull over on the side and put the top up. And so I raced a little bit up, gunned the motor a little bit, and all of a sudden a car started to hydroplane. Now, as it began to hydroplane, it hit a curb, and there was a divider where the highway was coming together, and it was maybe 4 or 5 feet wide, and my car jumped over that concrete divide, and I began to spin round and round and round, going down the other lane at oncoming traffic. And all I can remember were horns blaring and going by, whizzing by on the right and the left, and within seconds, we were on the left side, all the way over on the far side of the road. And we were just in shock. It's now pouring down rain. I think there was a combination of elation because we weren't smashed, but we were just in shock. And we had also gone beyond the exit ramp. So we came back up, got out of the car in the rain, and I'll never forget my friend and I, we just started we were just kind of laughing and trying to figure this out and thanking, God. And I'll never forget that night. It hit me. As a 20-year-old, I could have been just completely flattened on that highway. I could have lost my life. And I think for the first time, I had encountered death in a sense that was real to me. And I remember turning to the Lord that night and thanking him profusely for sparing me. If any car had hit us in that small little green MGA, we would have been a bug on that car's front windshield. It was a small little car. And the fact that we were spinning round and round and round with cars blaring horns, whizzing by us on both sides, and that we made it all the way across the other side and didn't get hit was a miracle. Now, I don't think I really understood that it was a miracle per se, but I did understand that it was by God's grace that I was alive. And I remember that night as clearly as I'm sitting here talking to you right now. I remember that night thinking, Lord, not only thank you for sparing my life, but, what does this mean? What's his plan and purpose for me? I knew something was profound about that. Now, look, life went on. I was a young man. And, that moment changed me. There were others to follow, life-changing experiences. But that one, I think, was the first one in my life where I had a brush with death. And it brought me to a sense of a closer relationship to God through prayer and pursuing him. I'll never forget that. Now look, I know you've had those experiences too, and they've been life-changing. But the same God that was with me in 1966 is with me today, and he's with you today. And he's a God of omnipotence. He's all-powerful, omniscience, all-knowing, omnipresence. He's everywhere all the time. And the same God that was all-powerful and all-knowing and present with me on that highway in 1966 is with me right now, with you right now. He's never taken his eye off of us. And he won't, because he loves us so much. So look, I want to leave you with this thought. If whatever you're going through right now, I want you to know that God is with you. He's with you. He will never forsake you. He will never leave you. He will never abandon you, because he's an awesome God of love. Amen? So look, reach out to me, share your thoughts. You know, my website, paulteskeministries.com, prayer button, hit them, share your prayer requests, your thoughts. I respond to all of them. I'm getting them on a daily basis and responding. And it's with great joy that I'm doing this right now for you, and a continuation in responding to you for your prayer needs and requests going forward. So may God bless you in the hearing of this story, and share your story with me. Let me know what God's been doing in your life. Let me hear your life-changing experience. That'd be a great thing. Amen? And all God's people said amen. Go in peace and serve the Lord.